To learn more about descriptive video service, call the DVS Automated Information Line at 1-800-333-1203 or visit our website at access.wgbh.org. To contact us, write to Descriptive Video Service, 125 Western Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts, 02134, or call us at 617-300-3490. DVS is a division of the Media Access Group at WGBH.
Warning, the motion picture contained in this video cassette is protected under the copyright laws of the United States and other countries. This cassette is sold for home use only, and all other rights are expressly reserved by the copyright owner of such motion picture. This film has been modified from its original version. It has been formatted to fit this screen. Now, in a black sky, a sliver of sunlight crests the Earth. Rays of light shoot off the continents, and a three-dimensional word orbits the planet, Universal. A web address appears, www.universalstudios.com. Now our view moves through a dark forest toward a lake. On the bank, a wolf is silhouetted against the starry night sky. As it turns its head, a swirling white cloud settles in the twinkling sky behind it. Words appear, Bristol Bay Productions. Now a pale wisp of smoke wavers across a black screen. As dark-skinned hands play a piano, titles appear. Universal Pictures and Bristol Bay Productions present an Anvil Films production. Another hand swings a microphone in front of the pianist, an African-American man wearing dark glasses. Titles continue. In association with Baldwin Entertainment, the pianist stomps his foot as a drummer joins in. A Taylor Hackford film. A pearl tie pin gleams on the pianist's black silk cravat. Jamie Foxx as Ray Charles. The pianist's hands on the keyboard are reflected in the lens of his dark glasses as he sways to the music. Ray. Lowell Fulson's band, drums Raymond Weber. Second Assistant Directors James Roque Jr., Ann C. Sazer. Additional Second Assistant Directors Jason Altieri, Jimmy Woods, John Riley. DGA Trainee Jackie Frost. DGA SAA Observer Joan Stein. Development Executive to Mr. Hackford, Maya Brown. Assistants to Mr. Hackford, Wise Wolf IV, Iviania Vassiladou. Pre-Production Assistant to Mr. Hackford, Amy Amezcua. Executive for Mr. Benjamin, Elena Sahagan. Assistant to Mr. Benjamin, Jessica Lagos. Assistant to Mr. Fox, Johnny Mack. Mr. Fox's personal trainer, Rashan Khan. Supervising ADR Supervisor, Chris Jargo. Supervising Foley Editor, Craig S. Jager, MPSE. First Assistant Sound Editor, Tony R. Negrete, MPSC. Assistant Sound Editor, Philip D. Merrill. Dialogue Editors, Kimmery Long, Frederick H. Staley, MPSC. Sound Effects Editor, Scott Sanders, MPSE. Daniel Hegeman, Peter Stabley, Christopher Assels, MPSE. Dino R. DeMuro, MPSE. Bruce Tanis. ADR Editors, Anna McKenzie, Michelle Pazer. Foley Artists, James Mariana, Jeffrey Wilhoit, Catherine Harper, Chris Mariana. Foley Mixer, Nurks Gazalian. Re-recordist, Fred W. Peck III. Engineer, Bill Banyai. Re-recorded at William Holden Theater, Sony Pictures Studio. Utility Sound Second Boom, Scott LaRue. Video Assist, Thomas E. Conrad. Audio Playback Operator, Aaron G. Leller. Key Set Production Assistant, Bill Hardy. Set Production Assistants, George Bott, Paul Udo, Carolyn Hustetler, Stephanie Herrera. Assistant Production Coordinators, Michelle Bossier, Matt DeFranco. Production Secretary, A. Rachel Tobias. Office Production Assistants, Jeremy Russell, Jessica Meyer, Jeffrey Sass, Natasha Sanchez, Mary J. Bowler. Post-Production Assistant, Khadijah Salahuddin. Post-Production Accountant, Tish Johnson. First Assistant Accountant, Alicia Elcourt. Second Assistant Accountant, Ogie Udell. Assistant Accountant, Carl Batten Bowman. Payroll Accountant, Lamont Bell. Accounting Clerk, June Marshall. Casting Assistant, Los Angeles, Sidney McCurdy. Extras Casting, New Orleans, Shirley Fulton Crumley. Extras Casting, Los Angeles, Smith & Webster Davis Casting. Extras Casting Associate, New Orleans, Vicki Jo Hertz. Extras Casting Assistants, New Orleans, Elizabeth Coulon, Theodric Davis, Kathy Selzer, Tim Hammond, Tracy Dunn. Atlanta Location Casting, Shea Casting, Inc. Location Casting Assistant, Janelle Cochran. Child Acting Coach, Kenda Benward. Stand-ins, Dana Chapitol, Gerald Robertson, Carol Robertson, Tyrone Treese, J.C. Felix. Trumpet Instructors for Lorenz Tate, Larry Newman, Jamil Sharif. Bass Instructor for Thomas Jefferson Bird, Tim Ferguson. Saxophone Instructor for Bokeem Woodbine, Alonzo Bowens. Guitar Instructor for Terrence Howard, Bill Solly. Vocal Coach for Anjanou Ellis, Charmaine Neville. Raylette's Consultant, Estella Yarborough. Assistant to Mr. Bagnaris, Wanda Ruzan. Best Boy Rigging Electrician, Dan Jones. Company Electricians, Michael Schwartz, Arthur Schultz, Erskine Mitchell, Jack McCollum, Dana McCormick, Daniel Hawking, Paul O'Leand, Alan Parks, Tommy Dangiel, Don Davidson, Glenn Majors, J.A. Byerly. Rigging Electricians, Brian Powell, Mark Toops, R. Scott LaBelle, Neil Stockwell, Ian Stockwell, James Bishop, Michelle Ledouze, Chris Bennett, Doug Bard. Theatrical Stage Lighting Technicians, Brian J. McKinnon, Dennis Rudge, Keith M. Davis, Eli McKinney. Dolly Grips, John Mang, Buddy Carr. Best Boy Rigging Grips, Michael McFadden, Carlos De Palma. L.A. Best Boy Grip, Ralph Shearer. L.A. Dolly Grip, Steve Guerrero. Company Grips, Gordon Ard, William F. Boone III, David Santana, Chris Erkstrom, Jamie Franta, Steve O'Hollern, Michael McGarry, Bodie Hyman. Rigging Grips, Franklin D. Jones III, Casey Osborne, Joel White, Daniel Rector, Donald Tellis, Paul Barron, George Kalamanis, Lonnie Cahoe. Second Camera Assistants, Barnaby Shapiro, Matt Gaumer. Additional First Assistant Camera, Garrett Benson. Additional Second Assistant Camera, Naomi Villanueva. Camera Leaders, Matt Kennedy, Melanie Banders. Location Assistants, Devin M. Schruff, Devin Cheragino, Samantha Bearden, Darren Lipscomb, Laura L. Brown, Helio de Oliveira. Set Dressers, Larry Haney, Lou Mugavero, Carl Denoyer, Scott Anderson, Chris Grants, Everett Eglin, John Sanchez, Ron Terry, Dustin Heyman, Michael Arena, Mark Hannibal, Aniket Bunnell, Robert Sika, Robert Cameron, Gary Kudroff, Hector Gonzalez, Foster Vick, Gary Brewer, John Brewer, R. Brooks Sartorius. Art Department Coordinator, Mary Frances Eglin. Art Department Assistants, Will Easton, Julie Turhark. Art Department Production Assistants, Jessica Wimberly, Naomi Gatman. Art Department Researcher, Janet Pett Davies. Additional Makeup Artists, Lisa Lehman, Joan Osment, Stacy Kelly, Holly Fry, Susan Spade, Ladidra Richard Baldwin. Additional Hairstylists, Donna Spahn, Albert Brown, Habiba White, Betty Hammock, Dana Bossio. Additional Costumers, Dana Embry, Adrienne Childers, Amy Lynch, Riki Sabusawa, Renee Dodson, Caroline Esselin, Liz Staub, Kim Martinez, Carol Cutshall. Seamstresses, Giselle Spence, Tyra Hughes, Marianne Waterstrat. Costume Production Assistant, Kathy LaFrance. Special FX Coordinator, New Orleans, Robert H. Cooper. Special FX Coordinator, Los Angeles, Chris Bailey. Key Set SPFX, Dave Nami. Assistant SPFX, Stephen Bourgeois, Riley Ordoin, Gerald Lajeunesse. Craft Service Supervisor, New Orleans, Nancy James. Craft Service Supervisor, Los Angeles, David Kasubowski. Craft Service Assistants, Michelle Thompson, Kathleen Duran, Chance Tassone. Travis Phipps, Doris Halliburton. Catering, New Orleans, Location Catering. Catering, Los Angeles, Deluxe Catering. Studio Teachers, Jane Bickford, Charmaine A. Booz. Set Medics, Frank Duffy, David Faliki. Construction Medic, Daphne Guichard. Security Service, New Orleans, Greenbelt Protection Service. Security Service, Los Angeles, Nonstop Security. Animal Wrangler, Hugo Favre. Construction Coordinator, New Orleans, Randall S. Coe. Construction Foreman, John Patterson, Chuck Stringer. Construction Purchaser, Kelly Curley. Lead Scenic, David Kelsey. Construction Gang Bosses, Leo Loricella, Marvin Perry. Paint Foreman, John Herbert. Paint Gang Bosses, Stuart Ald, Gail Bryant. Sign Writer, Noah Smith. On-Set Painter, Stephen Walters. Toolman, Mark Buffard. Prop Masters, Daniel Coe, Daryl Ike, Robert Guillot. Sarah Finelli, Don Goldman, James O. Hayes, William S. Hickey, Robert Miller, Huey Mitchell, David Cronenwetter, Louis LaSalle, Willis R. Saucier, Jason Periander, Michael Robillard, Mark Sullivan, Marcus Turchi, Thomas Wilson. Painters, Tom Ashburn, Brad Benisek, Wendy Guerrera, Ronnie Castleberry, Cassie Catalanato, Telly Ordoin, Marissa A. Marchione, Tim McCullough, Ronald W. Romansky. Laborers, Thomas David Adams, Wayne Softley, Joaquin Sanchez, Cecile Burr, Andre Lago. Construction Coordinator, Los Angeles, Wayne Springfield. Construction Foreman, Guy Herman. Labor Foreman, Milton Arroyo. Gang Boss, Roger Kelton. Paint Foreman, James Burkhart. Paint Gang Boss, Mike Gentry. Prop Makers, Mark Stevens, Patrick Butcher, Stephen Clark, Paul Davis, Andrew Lamond. Painters, Ken Robinson, Robert B. Arnold, Michael Costello, Dal DeLu, Jason Lagos, Jason Silver, Anthony Lamonia. Greensman, David Thoreau, Sidney Lambert, Steve Borghese, James Beatty, Phil Lociero. Supervising Transportation Coordinator, A. Welch Lambeth. Transportation Coordinator, New Orleans, Poland Perkins. Transportation Captains, Jeff Couch, Al Kaminsky, Jeffrey Gowing, Al Burton, Rodney Third. Picture Car Coordinator, Anthony J. Forrester. Picture Car Mechanics, Paul Davis, Manuel Martinez. Drivers, Kelly Aldrich, Donald Burdell, Cleveland Carter Jr., Carlo J. Catalanato, James Sedotal, Herbert Collar, Nelson Conino, Peter D. Toffoli, Wilfred J. Dupart, Jerry Everett, Janet Galpin, Jacqueline Gondrella, Huey Gray, David Halderman, Earl Hurst, Jerry Jackson, Bobby James Sr., Lionel Johnson, Eugene Joan, Carly Kahn, Brian Kay, Junior Kelly, Bill Kuhn, Loney Landry, John McLaughlin, Richard Munoz, William Parton, William A. Runge, Alexander Sands, Glenn P. Snyder, Transportation Office Assistant Brent Joseph, Special Makeup Effects by KNB EFX Group, Inc. Supervisors, Greg Nicotero, Howard Berger. Key Artists, Mark Matra, Nick Mara. Key Lab Techs, Ben Rittenhouse, Louis Kiss. Office Coordinators, Kamar Bitar, Chiz Hasagawa. Digital Services provided by Cinesite, a Kodak company. Visual Effects Supervisor, Jerry Pooler. Producer of Digital Effects, Brad Reinecke. Colorist, Jill Bogdanovich. Restoration Supervisor, Corinne Pooler. Restoration Artists, Danny Albano, Alec Cummings. Hayurk R.K. Herr, Monty Phillips. VSFX, Compositing Supervisor, Tom Smith. Roto Artist, Christine Kreiter. Compositing Artists, Valerie McMahon, Mike Castillo, Steve Wright. Data Operations, Tony Scaglia. Scanning and Recording, Manager Eric Hakkinen. Coordinator, Karen Calvo. Operators, Chris Gregg, Jay Adams, Daniel Ashton, Mark Sart. Digital Intermediate Color Assistants, Peter Mock, Andre Lynch. Editors, Linda Williams, Kyle Devrient. Assistant Editor, Dave Slaughter. Mastering Producer, Sal Migliori. Engineering, Ray Mitchell. Imagine Specialist, Jeff Christofferson. Production Assistant, Chris Perry. Main and end title sequences and graphic sequences designed and produced by Imaginary Forces. Designers, Karen Fong, Grant Lau. Animator, Chun Chian Lin. Editor, Justine Gerenstein. Typesetter, Brett Krause. Inferno Artists, Rod Basham, Andy Dill. Producers, Ben Apley, Keith Bryant. Production Coordinator, Troy J. Miller. Second Unit, First Assistant Director, Ann C. Salzer. Second Assistant Director, George Bott. Director of Photography, Lucas Jogala. Gaffer, Michael McLaughlin. Key Grip, Michael Smith. Camera Assistant, Ian Lynch. Location Assistant, Baloo Chandler. Production Assistants, Ryan Eustace, Ginger Newby, Amy Sanderson, Alfred Ozamat. Songs, What I Say, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Anytime, written by Herbert Happy Lawson, performed by Eddie Arnold, courtesy of RCA Nashville, under license from BMG Film and TV Music. Anytime, written by Herbert Happy Lawson, performed by Ray Charles. Emanin, written by John Dizzy Gillespie and Milton Shaw, performed by John Thomas. Route 66, written by Bobby Troop, performed by Jamie Foxx, piano by Ray Charles. Straighten Up and Fly Right, written by Nat King Cole and Irving Mills, performed by Jamie Foxx, piano by Ray Charles. Yesterdays, written by Otto A. Harbach and Jerome Kern, performed by Johnny O'Neill. Red Wing Boogie, written and performed by Willie Metcalf Jr. Rock This House, written by Lowell Fulson, performed by Chris Thomas King. My Little Pal Ray, written and performed by Willie Metcalf Jr. Every Day I Have the Blues, written by Peter Chapman, performed by Chris Thomas King. Drinkin' Wine Spodioti, written by Stick McGee and J. Mayo Williams, performed by Stick McGee, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. We Will Walk Through the Streets of the City, traditional. Baby Let Me Hold Your Hand, written and performed by Ray Charles. Walk Around, written by R.H. Harris, performed by Soul Stirrers, courtesy of Tough City Records. Roll With My Baby, written by Sam Sweet, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. The Midnight Hour, written by Sam Sweet, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. The Key of G, written and performed by Ray Charles. Pete Johnson's Stride, written and performed by Ray Charles. Mess Around, written by Ahmet Erdogan, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. I Got a Woman, written by Ray Charles, performed by Jamie Foxx, piano by Ray Charles. I Got a Woman, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Hallelujah, I Love Her So, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Drown in My Own Tears, written by Henry Glover, performed by Ray Charles. Drown in My Own Tears, written by Henry Glover, performed by Anjanou Ellis. Leave My Woman Alone, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Mary Ann, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. What Kind of Man Are You, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles and Mary Ann Fisher, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Moonlight Sonata, written by Ludwig van Beethoven, arranged by Kurt Sobel, performed by Kurt Sobel, courtesy of Palisades Music Productions. Nighttime is the Right Time, written by Lou Herman and Samuel Matthews, performed by Ray Charles and Margie Hendricks, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Mary Ann, written by Ray Charles, performed by Jamie Foxx. As It Falls, written by Wilson Turbington, performed by Wilson Willie T. Turbington. What I Say, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles. I Believe in My Soul, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corp., by arrangement with Warner Strategic Marketing. Georgia on My Mind, written by Hoagie Carmichael and Stuart Gurrell, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Montuno Uno, written by Kurt Sobel and Gary Schreiner, performed by Kurt Sobel and Gary Schreiner, courtesy of Palisades Music Productions. Hit the Road Jack, written by Percy Mayfield, performed by Jamie Foxx. Hit the Road Jack, written by Percy Mayfield, performed by Ray Charles and Carmen Carter. Hit the Road Jack, written by Percy Mayfield, performed by Ray Charles and Margie Hendricks, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Unchain My Heart, written by Bobby Sharp and Teddy Powell, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. You Don't Know Me, written by Eddie Arnold and Cindy Walker, performed by Ray Charles. Rock House, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. I Can't Stop Loving You, written by Don Gibson, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Bye Bye Love, written by Bootaloo Bryant and Felice Bryant, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Hard Times, No One Knows Better Than I, written by Ray Charles, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Born to Lose, written by Ted Daffin, performed by Ray Charles, courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises. Soundtrack album on Atlantic Rhino WMG Soundtracks. Music coordinator for Ray Charles Enterprises, Mark Fleming. Executive in charge of music for Universal Pictures, Kathy Nelson. Pre-recording engineering by Terry Howard, William Kaler, Ken DeSantos. Musicians, pianos, Ray Charles. Bass, Thomas W. Fowler. Drums, Raymond C. Brinker III. Electric guitar, Saul Hudson. Pedal steel guitar, Douglas Livingston. Saxophones, woodwinds, Dan Higgins. Saxophones, Jeffrey C. Kay, Ricky D. Woodard, Alfred R. Jackson. Trumpet, John Thomas. Original score composed and arranged by Craig Armstrong. Choral arrangements by Craig Armstrong. Produced by Craig Armstrong, David Donaldson, and Jeff Foster. Recorded and mixed by Jeff Foster at Air Studios, Lyndhurst, London. Assisted by Jake Jackson and Olga Fitzroy. Orchestrated by Matt Dunkley and Craig Armstrong. Conducted by Cecilia Weston. Engineering and programming by David Donaldson. Orchestra contractor Isabel Griffiths. Orchestra leader Gavin Wright. Solo piano by Simon Chamberlain and Craig Armstrong. Choir, Metro Voices. Choir leader, Jenny O'Grady. Music co-coordinator and assistant to Craig Armstrong, Emma Ford. Music preparation by Dakota Music Service. Vocal sample used courtesy of Spectrasonics Vocal Planet. Original score copyright 2004, Lords and Ladies Music and DMI Virgin Music Limited, all rights reserved. Producers wish to thank Ray Charles Enterprises, Joe Adams, Peter Funston Esquire, Valerie Irvin, Vernon Troop, Quincy Jones, Ahmet Erdogan, Jerry Wexler, Ruth Brown, Mrs. Della B. Robinson, David Fathead Newman, who still performs internationally and enjoys a healthy drug-free lifestyle, Joel Sill, Mark Hartley and Larry Fitzgerald, Gary Lamel, Terry Hagar, Warner Chappell Music Inc., Les Biter, Rick Shoemaker, Jack Rossner, Paulette Hawkins, Brad Rosenberger, Jeffrey Conroy, Ralph Smith, Warner Brothers Music, Danny Bramson, Scott Pescucci, Jason Sienkis, Nikki Gascon, Kevin Gore, Robin Hurley, James Austin, Mike Engstrom, Dave May, Raina Winscott, Sig Sigworth, and everyone at Atlantic Records. State of Louisiana, Mark S. Smith, Esquire, Louisiana Governor's Office, Film and Television Development. Representative Steve Calise, Senator Ken Hollis, Don J. Hutchinson, Secretary, Louisiana Economic Development. City of New Orleans, Mayor C. Ray Nagin, Ernest Collins, Executive in the Arts and Entertainment Department. Beth James in the Office of Economic Development. Eddie Compass, Superintendent of Police for New Orleans Police Department. Stephanie Dupuy of the New Orleans Office of Film and Video. Tico Soto, Tourism Sales Manager for New Orleans Metropolitan Convention and Visitors Bureau. Leonard Alsfeld and First Bank and Trust. Mayor Marion Foster and the City of Hammond. Jerry McKee and the Laurel Valley Corporation. St. Bernard Parish Schools, Chalmette High School, Jefferson Parish Schools, Riverdale High School, Reverend Lois DeJean and the Ebenezer Baptist Church, Fine Arts Center of New Orleans, University of New Orleans Department of Drama Communications, Chancellor Greg O'Brien, NIMS Center Studio, New Orleans, Roger Benishek, City of Los Angeles Entertainment Industry Development Corporation. Special thanks to Gibson Guitar and Baldwin Piano for musical instruments provided. Billboard charts used courtesy of Billboard Magazine and VNU Business Media, Inc. WINS AM radio logo provided courtesy of WINS Radio Infinity Broadcasting, Peter Brattender. Special thanks to Johnson Publishing Group for the use of Jet and Ebony magazines. Stock footage courtesy of Fish Films, Footage World, Producers Library Services, Inc., the Oregon Historical Society, Paramount Pictures Stock Footage Library, Moving Image Archives, Michelle Davidson, Archive Films by Getty Images, AM Stock Cameo Film Library, the WPA Film Library, the Panther Library, Oddball Film and Video, Michael Oakes Archives, CBS News Archives, NFL Films. Ray Charles album covers courtesy of Ray Charles Enterprises and ABC Paramount. Photo of Ray Charles from the album Ray Charles, The Complete Country and Western Recordings, 1969 to 1986. Rights reserved by Howard Moorhead. Bristol Bay Productions Business Affairs, Lane R. Klein. Production Counsel, Stephen Kalb, Proscour Rose, LLP. Rights and Clearances, Clearance Domain, LLC. Completion Bond, International Film Guarantors. Insurance provided by AON, Albert G. Rubin Insurance Services, Inc. Dolby Stereo Consultant, Trevor Ward. Music Business Affairs, Christine Bergen. End title sequence by Pacific Title. Location electric equipment provided by Hollywood Rentals, Inc. Theatrical stage lighting provided by Fourth Phase, Los Angeles. Cameras provided by Claremont Cameras. Digital laboratory preview services, Laser Pacific. Camera remote head provided by Panavision Remote Camera Systems. Grip equipment provided by Lapine Grip Company, Stage Right Productions. Camera dollies by Chapman Leonard Studio Equipment, Inc., J.L. Fisher. Ray Charles is survived by 12 children, 21 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. American Humane Association monitored the animal action. No animal was harmed in the making of this film. AHA 00543. A logo, Film and Television Unit. More logos, color by Technicolor, Kodak Motion Picture Film, DTS registered trademark, SDDS, Sony Dynamic Digital Sound in selected theaters, Dolby Digital in selected theaters. Number 40447, Motion Picture Association of America. This picture made under the jurisdiction of IATSE, affiliated with AFL-CIO CLC. Ray was filmed entirely on location in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Hammond, and Thibodaux, Louisiana, and Los Angeles, California. This motion picture is based on true events. However, some of the characters' names in certain locations and events have been changed, and others have been fictionalized for dramatization purposes. Copyright 2004, Unchain My Heart Louisiana, LLC, all rights reserved. Unchain My Heart Louisiana, LLC is the author and creator of this motion picture for the purposes of U.S. copyright law and the Berne Convention, and all national laws giving effect therein. This motion picture is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. This film has been described by the Media Access Group at WGBH, read by Miles Neff. For more information about motion picture access, visit our website at access.wgbh.org. This motion picture has been rated PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under 13 by the Classification and Rating Administration.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
This is Extra Normal Home Video.